Very good. Okay, we'll move on to something even worse than being led on. It is being cheated on. So I hope we can see. Why don't I move this in? We'll zoom in even more. Okay, this is much better. Cheat on. So that refers to being unfaithful in a relationship. So you are breaking a promise. And that usually means meeting another person, not your significant other. Oh, George is so bad. The sample sentence is, she cheated on her husband with George. So we cheat on somebody with somebody else. So in this sentence, it could be a little bit confusing to know who is doing what. So let's imagine the she is your teacher. I cheated on my husband. My husband is not here. He's away. He's so angry with me because I cheated on my husband with this man. Do we understand? Okay, good comments. I think we're following. So why don't we try cheat on in a sentence? You could say, somebody cheated on me, or, oh, by mistake, I cheated on somebody. This is very, very gossip worthy. So we're not using our own lives as example sentences, as you know, as I know. So just a sample sentence. You won't get in any trouble, right? Nothing is real here. George is obviously not that much of a playboy, I would hope. Bad George, how could you cheat on me for that long? Perfect Apple, great sentence. If you cheat on your spouse, you will be paid. I'm wondering which agency is paying people to cheat on their spouses. Maybe it's more like you will be punished, or you will be paid back, in the sense of maybe karma. You know, when you do something wrong, eventually maybe something bad might happen to you, if you believe in that type of idea. So if you cheat on your spouse, you will be maybe caught, you could say as well. You will be punished. We say what goes around comes around, like that. Okay, Emily says, I caught my boyfriend cheating on me. Okay, perfect sentence. Well done. You will pay for what you do, for sure. Very good. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Oh, Jano, well said. He has such an innocent face. He has a smile on his face, says Bobby. Okay. Oh, you're referring to my friend here. Where is he? I hope I don't smear his lovely face. Someone says, I love to cheat on my girlfriend. Yep, that's a fine sentence. Paid back. Right, Jenny. Very good. He was infamous for cheating on his girlfriend many times. Very good. Oh, Rose is correct. Yes. So today we're talking about romance. However, a lot of these phrasal verbs can be applied to other contexts. And I'm glad Rose brought that up. So it means you cheated on play or cheated on a game. Yes, you can cheat in a game. If we're playing blue marble and I decide to secretly steal some money, I'm cheating in the game. That's right. Anna cheated on her close friend. Therefore, they broke up with each other. Right. Okay, so maybe for Kwang Sung, you could say, I'm assuming you mean that Anna cheated with her close friend. Cheated with her close friend, and she had to break up her relationship with someone else. So it gets a little complicated with the ons and the withs. Maybe you could cheat on your friend if you're not in a relationship with them. It gets very confusing. So, Kwang Sung is fixing that sentence. Now I understand. And we have the word frenemy come up. Yes, so in that case, right, if you cheat on your partner with your friend, that's definitely a frenemy, right? It's a friend who is an enemy. Wow, we have a lot of interesting example sentences in here and lots of good vocabulary. Okay, moving on. So progressively getting worse, break up and split up. So I'm sure you can guess the meaning already. It just simply is to end, to finish, but we wouldn't say we finished the relationship. It's not that natural. We would say we ended the relationship because, well, there could be a lot of reasons why. Maybe cheating, maybe something else. We could talk about that later. So it's just to end a relationship with someone. Example, the celebrity couple broke up. You can also say the celebrity couple split up. And I don't know well about celebrity couples, but maybe if you know of a celebrity couple, celebrity, as we learned before, means famous people. So a famous couple, for example, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, they split up, they broke up. You can also say other things like, oh no, George broke up with me. So George said bye-bye to me. George split up with me. I'm so sad. I'm crying all day. Let's see some sentences now. Hollywood couples are often broken up. Very good, T. Jenny. Jano says, oh no, I broke up with my wonderful George because he cheated on me with my best friend. Oh, what a saga. We need to write a story or some type of drama about this man, George. DV says, Song Joong-ki and Song Hye-kyo, I hope I said that well, broke up. Oh my. Very good. Apple says, I don't want to break up with you. Great sentence. Ooh, A. This could be like a line from a drama. Please break up with me. Otherwise, I'll sue you. How do I break up with someone I love? Says Rose. Very good. Excellent sentences. I think we understand break up or split up. So we'll move on. Just a few more. So these ones, to make up. We talk about couples making up after they've had some dispute or disagreement. So if the couple fights, if I say, oh, I'm so angry at George, I never want to see you again, and we go our separate ways. If I make up, that means reconcile after a dispute. Reconcile means come back together. Dispute means an argument or some problem. So George and I make up, we come back together again, and we solved our problem. Apple says, why don't you two kiss and make up? Yeah, that's a really common expression, to kiss and make up. So make up, example, we made up. George and I had a fight, but we made up. We are happy again. Jano says, we had a makeup. Okay, yes, that's perfect. We understand. T. Jenny says, you'd better make up soon after an argument. Lovely sentence. Bob says, we make up after every fight. Yes, that's right. And you put a question mark. So if you're asking about it, it's completely up to you, because if you have a fight in your relationship, maybe you never make up. That means maybe you split up or you break up, right? But if we make up, we come together again and we move on. Very good. And finally, our last one for now, to turn down. Now, we can use this in other contexts, but when we are talking about romance, turning down someone means to decline them or reject somebody. So please, let's use this together. Type your own sentence. My dream girl just turned me down. That means maybe the man asked the dream girl, his goddess, the girl that he wants to be with, for a date, and she said, I'm so sorry, no thank you. Or she gave him a fake phone number, or any other reason, she's rejecting him. So, using George again, I will turn down George. George wants to have a date with me. I would say, I'm so sorry, I'm too busy. George is turned down. So let's try to use turn down in a sentence. Have you ever turned someone down? What does it feel like to be turned down? That means rejected for a date. Let's see A says, don't turn me down, please. I beg you. Very good. It is important to make sure that other person is not hurt when you turn them down. T. Jenny, well done. Jano, how can I ever turn you down when you look at me like that, George? Jano, very clever. Thank you. And that was well done. Yes, Rose is saying that she turned down a meeting. I'm assuming that means a date. Meeting in English, well, a lot of native speakers would think a meeting is something more professional, like a meeting with my boss, something that's a little higher level perhaps than a date, right? But in Korea, we say blind meeting, right? To mean blind date. So I can see how the word meeting can have a different meaning in Korean. So just if we're talking with a native speaker, you could say more naturally, I turned down a date. Or simply, I turned down the person. We can say both. We can refuse the date. We can refuse the entire person. Okay, Alohi says, I felt bad for leading Hyunbin on. So I asked him out, but he turned me down. Very good sentence. Thank you. Apple says, turn down the TV volume. See, there we go. Thank you, Apple. That's an example of turn down being used in another context. So you are correct. Hyunju says, the actress turned the billionaire down. Wow. And I wonder why. Very good. Okay, so let's move on. I think that, well, as you can see from our lively discussion, that dating and romance is so interesting to talk about. So let's begin our discussion. I have a lot of questions for you. My first question is, in your opinion, how do you begin dating? Maybe you can talk about it in the Korean context. So I'll type the question. How do you begin dating? As in, how do you find someone to go on a date with? What are some methods? What are some things that you can do? What can you say? Where can you go? How do you even begin dating? How do you find someone to date? Let's see, everyone. And try, if you can, to use some of these phrasal verbs. If you can, if the situation allows. Jano says, Tinder all the way. You brought up, yes, that we use tools, online tools, smartphone apps, etc. Sure, that is a way to find a date. Okay, you can begin dating by watching a movie with someone. Well done, Rose. Oh, Jano, it's just a joke. But really, some people do use that as a method, right? Because as we said before, dating, relationships, it's so personal. Everyone has their different idea, their different preferences, their different lifestyle, culture, etc. Very good. Anyone else? How do you begin dating? How would I find someone? How would I find someone like George? Do you go on blind dates? Do we use the internet? Do you just simply walk up to somebody on the street and ask them, can I have your phone number? Oh, very good. Yes. DV says, meet people through your friends. Very good. T. Jenny says, dating is a memory too long ago. I understand. So Kwang Sung is asking, what is Tinder? Tinder is an app. So it's an application for your smartphone. It matches single people together to go on a date. Now, everyone has different opinions. Some people think it's okay to meet people through your phone. Other people are more traditional. So that's why maybe Tinder is could be a little bit controversial to some people, because everyone has a different opinion on what's the right way to find somebody. Through my coworkers, that's right, through being introduced, through being connected. Your friend, says DV, can introduce you to people who they think match you. Well done. Yes. Go to church? Sure, of course. Any social environment, you can find somebody. Hyunju says blind dates, through coworkers. A is wondering, how do we really find people to date? Right. Very good. Start working out. So meeting people at the gym or just building your confidence to meet people in other areas of life. Okay. Tijani, great sentence. Would you like to have coffee with me? I think that's a really natural way to ask somebody for a date. Sure. Well done. Okay. My next question, who asks whom and who pays? So I will type the question here. Who asks whom? That means who is doing the asking? Between George and I, we're going to assume George is a male based on his name. Is it the man's job? Should George ask me or should I ask George? Can the female ask? Who says it first? And who should pay? I think in our relationship, I'm the only person with money. So I guess I would have to pay. Again, what do you think? 50-50? Dutch pay? Oh, there we go, Apple. So you can answer both of the questions or either. I just want to get a discussion going. Who should pay for the dates? Who asks to go on a date first? In my case, usually guys, says Emily. T. Jenny, depends on the situation. That's right. Jano says, always guy treats a girl on the first date. Very traditional. Rose says, my hus, meaning my husband. Right. Sure, very good. Again, different couples have different ideas. DV says, anyone can ask. If you are interested, make the first move. Awesome advice. Wow. You should be a writer. Very good. Another student, A, says, depends on the situation. Yes, I agree. I think it certainly does depend on the situation. Maybe some people are more traditional. They would like the man to handle that area, to pay, as well as to ask first. Or some people, they think anything is fine, whatever suits the situation. Very good. Jano, I've always paid for the first date, even if I didn't like the guy. Oh, that's so nice of you. Right, right. So Dutch pay, I'm very curious, who agrees with Dutch pay? And we also like to say splitting the bill is another word for Dutch pay. So we could say go Dutch. On a date, we should go Dutch, split it 50-50, split the bill. It depends on the guy's mind. You're right. Yes, it really depends on, each of our own perspectives. Very good. Sorry, I am broke. Good expression. Right. Excellent. Good job, everyone. Okay, and our last question before I give you some more vocabulary. What do you know about dating in Western society? So I will post the question here. I mean, we don't want to stereotype because lots of people in Western society have different backgrounds, values, beliefs, and so on. But we can talk about generalities, and I'm just curious about what you think, perhaps from your own experiences in a Western country or from what you've seen in Hollywood movies. But beware that Hollywood isn't always showing you what really goes on between people, right? It's entertaining. So I'm just curious, what do you know about dating in Western societies? And don't worry, I won't be offended by what you say. I'm just really curious. What do you know about dating in other countries? So do you think, is it more casual? Is there less involvement from parents? More blind dating? Less blind dating? Do people live together before marriage? Wow, lots and lots of could be controversial topics, but let's try it out. Why not? Apple says, first dates are often casual. Meeting at a bar or coffee shop are some of the most popular options and get more formal by adding dinner and events into the mix. Yes, very good, Apple. That is correct. I would agree with you. And I would also agree with DV Diary. Yes, there's lots more freedom. There's no set way. There's no exact way to go on a date, to meet somebody. It can really happen in a variety of ways. Jano, I've seen both sides, but generally I find the Western guys don't like the girls who are little too caring, waiting by the phone, asking to wear certain clothes, hairstyles. Oh, very good. That's an interesting perspective. Sure, I would agree with you. Again, I don't know much about the male perspective, right? I'm not George, but I can see that maybe I think that Western girls do care, but we're certainly not really waiting by our phone, texting a lot, etc. But some girls will. That's the thing. As DV Diary said, there's so much freedom, right? Everyone can be how they are, and you're going to meet different personalities. But Jano, I would agree with you. I think that, generally it could be a little more that way. DVD says, yeah, I see people casually date more often. Very good. Hyunju says, I've heard people in the West usually don't have a blind date. Sure, I think that's a great thing to bring up because I think that the blind dating, or what do we say in Korea, like soul getting, that's maybe more common here. I think that maybe at least in Canada, where I'm from, excuse me, like we want to kind of know the person first. We want to make sure maybe there's something in common, or we've met them a little bit beforehand before we choose to go on a date with them. So meeting a stranger could be a little bit intimidating, meaning kind of scary, but again, people still do it. Right. T. Jenny says, love from classical literature is usually fatal and intense. People dream of it. Yes, wow, we could have a whole lesson on that topic about, romanticism, romantic ideals. Jano says they like women who are far more confident, focused on their work, and so much more. Korean guys tend to like the girls who are a little more accommodating. Okay, very good opinion. Dating is often low commitment, says Apple, in the States. In America, it's more common, especially in one's early 20s, to be dating just for fun than it is to be dating with the intention to get married ASAP, as soon as possible. Wow, very good. Wow, there's so much to say, but I have more words to share with you. So I really want to keep this conversation going. It's really interesting.